The storm is supposed to hit around high tide, which is kind of a double whammy. This is close to high tide right now. I've decided to move the boats, not because I'm worried about them where they are. They're tied down and they would be okay. But because last time the wind was such that, and the weight of the boats, that this thing got bent and I had to repair it, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to take the boats down. To be clear, when I said I'm going to take the boats down, I meant the canoes. What I'll do is secure them to these trees and leave them like this. And you say, well, why don't you turn them over so they don't get full of water? Well, my daddy always, when the storm was coming, would do this with the boats, and he didn't mind the water, because the rainwater would fill up the boats and they wouldn't go anywhere. Whereas if you turn over a boat, you very well, if you get enough of a wind gust, have it, move, blow away. So I'll secure them to the trees, leave them like that. I don't think I'll mess with the paddle boat. I've got it tied, and that's really the best position for it to be in. Paddle boats are a pain in the butt to bail out, because even that one with just one drain hole gets water in it, and it takes a while to drain it out. I'm not worried about it really. Well, I'll pray about this one. I may revisit. In a recent video, I talked about using scaffolding in your hurricane preps, put it in the back of the truck, which it does fit, and that would enable you to pack a lot more stuff and also offer a kind of a temporary shelter. I'm not going to do that this time. I threw in my old homemade rack. The reason why is because I do not contemplate bugging out. I'm just going to hunker down, and like I said, the storm's supposed to go to the east of us, and so I'm going to take the precaution of getting the truck ready, but more for moving the wife and the mom and the animals. If I have to, I would still come back here. And if you've never been through a hurricane, there's something you need to know about hurricanes. They're not just stay or go. There's some fine gradations. There's some gray area there, and I've been through a few, and I have to say, if I do leave, I'm not going any farther than I have to, because I want to get back as soon as I can. And I know that all the government entities say stay away and let the people do their business, but I'm telling you, after a hurricane, a bad one, there's stuff everywhere, and the looter comes out. People you wouldn't think were looters. I won't go into any personal stories, but after a hurricane, I'm going to do my best to be back here. If it's not bad enough to leave, I want to hunker down and be here when it's over, because it's my job to protect this place, and that's just how I feel about it. I'm sure there's people that disagree, but that's how I feel. Anyway, so I'm just going to get this ready. This is a just in case. Do not think that I'm going to be using this, but if for some reason something changed, if Michael does not bend to the right like everybody thinks it's going to, instead is barreling right up to my house, yes, we will take all the vehicles, stuff them full of stuff that is already prepared, and we will leave. And this truck's job will be to take the animals, have somewhere to go with it. In that case, if there was time, maybe I would make one trip like this and then come back and get the scaffolding, because that scaffolding does make a lot of good things, housing, animal cages, stuff like that. I'm pre-positioning the generator and my light boxes so that I don't have to go out in the rain to get them if I tend to need them. I'll put the generator back porch. The light boxes, I actually need to go in here and revamp them, because light box one, you can see, has candles as well as lights. But I'm moving away from candles. I think that there's some danger I don't want to deal with. And I'm moving more toward just battery lamps. I have quite a bit of batteries. Not only do I keep batteries for my light box in here, but I have batteries in the house. A big part of my light box is going to be headlamps. Although most people, we'll call them civilians, non-preppers, aren't used to headlamps, if you have to get around a house that is without power, a headlamp just makes more sense than trying to put lights everywhere. So, like I said, I'm going to pre-position all this, go ahead and get batteries in them, make sure everything's working. I've moved my generator around to the back of the house. I usually keep it in the boat shed. It's just easy to move it over here if I'm prepping for a hurricane. So what I'll do is I'll move it onto the back porch. I've got gasoline, which I'll store down below the porch, and some extra plugs. And I'll go ahead and get that stuff ready just in case. We've got plenty of time. The hurricane's actually supposed to hit in the middle of the day, but I want to have everything close at hand if we need it.